Every sheet begins here, where horn byproducts are rescued before they become waste. Only dense, unbroken horn can survive the transformation ahead.
The raw material now begins its journey toward the factory floor. What starts as an animal byproduct is about to enter a highly controlled manufacturing system. At the factory gate, traceability starts before processing ever begins. Every incoming load is logged before a single horn enters the line.
Before cleaning begins, the factory checks whether the horn meets density and visual standards. Only the right horns continue, because consistency at the start decides the quality at the finish. Now the raw horn leaves the loading dock and enters the first true stage of transformation.
Once accepted, the horns enter a cleaning line built to strip away the first layers of contamination. The first wash removes the grime of transport, but the deeper cleaning has only begun. Rinse water drives out loose residue before the horns can be sorted with any accuracy. With surface dirt removed, the material rises toward its first serious inspection point. This is where the line begins to separate usable horn from everything that would weaken the final product. Even after washing, every horn still has to prove it is structurally sound enough to process.
Grading decides the destiny of each horn. Only the largest move forward for sheet making. Now the cleaned material leaves the receiving side of the plant and enters the first true preparation room. By this point, each horn has been washed, graded, and cued for the cutting line that shapes what comes next.
Cleaned and sorted, the horn is finally ready for the first cut, then changes it forever.
The first cut removes the rough root, creating a clean starting point for precision processing.
With both ends defined, the horn can now be opened for the transformation that follows.
To flatten horn into usable stock, the curved shell first has to be opened with a single controlled split.
This split is the moment the horn stops being a natural shape and starts becoming an industrial material. Before horn can be flattened, the softer inner layers have to be stripped away to expose the dense shell beneath.
Heat and moisture soften the horn's rigid curve, preparing it for the force of flattening.
Pressure forces the horn to surrender its natural shape and take on a form the factory can work with. Cooling locks in the new shape, turning a softened shell into workable horn stock.
Now the horn has become flat stock, and the factory can begin the transformation that gives it its final identity.
Before refinement can begin, the flattened horn must be reheated to make its structure workable once more.
The first roller pass starts to tame the horn's natural inconsistencies into something industry can control.
Here, pressure and heat work together to turn raw horn stock into a stable industrial sheet. Every millimeter matters now, because the final material must feel consistent across the entire sheet. This is the stage where horn begins to lose its old identity and take it on the feel of a finished material.
Conditioning restores balance to the material, so strength doesn't come at the cost of flexibility.
Refining smooths the surface without erasing the natural pattern that makes each horn sheet unique. Light exposes what the surface hides,
allowing the factory to catch weakness before finishing goes any further.
Now the sheet has its final shape, and only finishing stands between raw horn and a premium industrial material.
After heat, pressure, and calibration, the horn has become a true sheet material, ready for its final proof.
With the structure complete, finishing now brings out the clean surface that defines the final material. Even after automation, the human hand still catches flaws machines can miss.
Finishing the edges protects both the material and the workers who will handle it next.
By this stage, every sheet must prove it meets the exact dimensions the customer expects. A premium horn sheet must not only look finished, it has to move without failing under stress.
Before release, the lab takes its own piece of the sheet to verify what the production line claims.
Moisture and density tell the factory whether the sheet is truly stable or only looks that way on the surface.
At microscopic scale, the factory can see whether the horn's internal structure survived the pressure of transformation. Only after every test agrees does the sheet earn the right to leave production as finished material.
Now the horn sheet is no longer in question. It's ready to be packed, stored, and shipped into the world.
Before it can leave the line, the finished sheet is sealed against scratches, dust, and handling damage. From this point on, every sheet carries its own manufacturing history wherever it goes. Even after processing, horn remains a premium material, so packing has to protect every edge and surface. Now the product is protected, sealed, and ready to be gathered into shipment units. Individual sheets become shipments only when the line turns them into stable, stackable loads. The final wrap locks the shipment together so it can survive storage, forklifts, and long transport routes. From the packaging hall, the material enters the final logistics chain that connects factory output to the outside world.
By now, the horn has completed its transformation, and only dispatch remains.
And this is how modern factories produce white bullhorn leather-like sheets from start to finish.
From raw horn to finished sheet, every stage is controlled, measured, and built for scale.